The morning sunlight filtered through the curtains of Amara's tiny dorm room in London, illuminating a stack of unpacked books in a half-open suitcase. Her head throbbed with exhaustion from the long journey, but her mind was restless. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the same image, the baby sleeping peacefully in her arms, the grateful look on the millionaire father's face, and his soft-spoken words before they parted at the airport. "Greater than, you have a gift, Miss Williams. I hope our paths cross again." She smiled faintly, pushing the memory away. "Focus, Amara," she whispered to herself. "You came here for your studies, not to daydream about rich men and crying babies." Her phone buzzed. A new email had arrived. The sender's name made her heart skip. Ethan Caldwell. Amara stared in disbelief. Her fingers trembled as she opened the message. "Greater than Miss Williams, I hope this message finds you well. Lily hasn't stopped smiling since that flight. She keeps pointing at every young woman she sees, thinking it's you. I'm writing because I have an unusual request. Would you consider becoming Lily's caretaker? The position comes with full accommodation, educational support, and a generous salary. I realize this is sudden, but I believe you are someone I can trust, someone with the heart my daughter needs. Please take your time to decide. Ethan Caldwell." Amara reread the message over and over. Her chest tightened with a mix of disbelief and confusion. "Caretaker, for a millionaire's baby," she murmured. "That can't be real." Still, something about his words felt sincere, not the tone of a powerful man offering charity, but of a father reaching out for help. After 2 days of thought, she replied simply, "Greater than Mr. Caldwell, if the offer still stands, I'd like to meet you in person before deciding." The mansion by the lake. A black car pulled up in front of an elegant mansion overlooking a lake fringed with autumn trees. Amara stepped out, adjusting her simple coat and clutching her bag nervously. The estate was breathtaking: glass walls, marble steps, and gardens trimmed with impossible perfection. A butler greeted her and led her inside. The air smelled faintly of roses and sandalwood. Paintings lined the hallway, each one signed, E. Caldwell. "He paints," Amara whispered, surprised. Before the butler could respond, a familiar voice echoed down the corridor. "Miss Williams." Ethan appeared, dressed in casual slacks and a gray sweater, his eyes tired but kind. "You came." Amara smiled softly. "I almost didn't. This place looks like something out of a movie." He laughed lightly. "It's quieter than it looks. Come, I want you to meet someone." In the living room sat Lily, gurgling happily on the floor, surrounded by toys. The moment she saw Amara, she squealed in joy, crawling as fast as her tiny hands could carry her. Da, she babbled, reaching for her. Amara knelt down, her heart melting instantly. "Hey there, little one. You remember me?" Lily clung to her neck, cooing in contentment. Ethan watched silently, a rare softness in his gaze. "She hasn't taken to anyone like that since," he paused, looking away, "since her mother passed." Amara looked up gently. "I'm so sorry." He nodded, his expression heavy. "My wife, Claire, died shortly after Lily was born. It's been difficult. I've had nannies, but Lily cries endlessly with them. When I saw how she calmed with you, it felt like fate." Amara swallowed hard, emotion catching in her throat. "Mr. Caldwell, I don't know if I'm qualified." "Please, call me Ethan," he interrupted kindly. "And qualifications don't matter as much as heart. Lily trusts you. That's all I need to know." A new beginning. Amara moved into the guest cottage, behind the main house a week later. It was simple but warm, a far cry from her cramped dorm room. She continued her psychology studies online while spending her days with Lily. Every morning, she'd find the baby waiting by the nursery gate, clapping her tiny hands as soon as she saw her, Mara. They'd walk by the lake, feed the ducks, and read storybooks until Lily's eyelids drooped with sleep. For the first time in months, the mansion felt alive again. Laughter echoed in the halls, and Ethan often paused in his office doorway just to listen. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Amara stood by the piano with Lily in her arms. She began humming a soft tune, an old lullaby from her grandmother. The baby's head rested on her shoulder, half asleep. When she turned, Ethan was standing there silently, a glass of wine forgotten in his hand. "That song," he said softly. "Claire used to sing it too." Amara's heart skipped. "Really? My grandmother said it was an African lullaby passed through generations." Ethan smiled faintly. "Maybe the world isn't as big as we think." Their eyes met, a long, quiet moment filled with unspoken understanding. Rumors and judgments, but not everyone in Ethan's world was as welcoming. Word spread quickly among his business circle and the household staff. Whispered comments followed Amara wherever she went. She's just a girl from nowhere. Probably after his money. How convenient, the nanny lives right next door. Amara heard it all but stayed silent. She focused on Lily and her studies, refusing to let gossip define her. Yet, one morning, she overheard something that stung more than any whisper. It came from Victoria Bennett, Ethan's longtime business partner and a woman clearly in love with him. "Ethan, you can't be serious about keeping that girl here," Victoria said sharply as Amara passed the hallway. "She's young, naive, she doesn't belong in your world. She belongs wherever my daughter feels safe," Ethan replied firmly. "And that's with Amara." Amara froze. She shouldn't have listened, but her heart fluttered anyway. A night of storms. Weeks later, London was hit by a fierce storm. Rain lashed the windows, thunder shook the ground, and Lily woke up crying in terror. Amara rushed into the nursery, scooping her up. "It's okay, baby, it's just the sky talking," she whispered, rocking her gently. Moments later, Ethan appeared, hair damp, eyes filled with concern. "I heard her crying. She's okay now," Amara said softly, still cradling the baby. "She just needed to feel safe." Ethan stepped closer, watching the way Amara held Lily, her voice calm and loving. "You have no idea how much you've changed our lives," he murmured. Amara looked up, caught in his gaze. "Sometimes, all people need is someone who listens, even babies." Thunder rolled outside, and without realizing it, they stood only inches apart. The flicker of lightning illuminated their faces, two people bound by grief, love, and unexpected connection. Ethan took a deep breath. "Amara, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but..." Before he could finish, Lily whimpered softly, breaking the moment. Amara smiled faintly, stepping back. "Maybe we should both get some rest." But that night, neither of them slept easily. The visit. A month later, Ethan hosted a charity gala at his mansion. The place buzzed with music, laughter, and flashing cameras. It was his first event since Claire's passing, and everyone wanted to see the famous Caldwell comeback. Amara stayed upstairs with Lily, watching from the balcony as guests mingled below. But when Lily fell asleep early, curiosity got the better of her. She decided to peek into the ballroom, just for a moment. Heads turned as she entered, her simple navy dress catching the light. Ethan, standing by the bar, froze mid-conversation. "She came," he whispered. Victoria, standing beside him, narrowed her eyes. "Your nanny." Amara smiled politely, about to slip away when Lily's cry echoed faintly from the monitor in her hand. The baby had woken up. Without hesitation, Amara hurried upstairs. Ethan followed quietly, ignoring the murmurs behind him. When he reached the nursery, Amara was already soothing Lily back to sleep. "You left your guests," she said softly, turning to him. "I left noise," he replied. "This is peace." Their eyes met again, and this time, neither looked away. Healing hearts. Months passed. What began as a working relationship deepened into something pure, steady, and profound. Ethan found himself confiding in Amara, about his fears, his loneliness, his regrets. She listened without judgment, her calm presence healing him in ways he hadn't known he needed. And Amara, too, began to blossom, no longer the shy student, but a woman who had found purpose. She loved Lily deeply, but what she didn't expect was how deeply she had come to care for Ethan. One spring morning, Ethan invited her to walk by the lake. The trees were in bloom, their petals drifting like pink snowflakes. "I wanted to thank you," he said quietly. "You brought life back into this home, and into me." Amara smiled, her voice trembling. "You and Lily gave me a family when I had none." He stopped walking, turning to face her. "Amara, I know how this might sound, but I don't want you to ever leave. Not as an employee, but as part of our lives, as family." Tears welled in her eyes. "Ethan." Before she could respond, Lily toddled toward them, laughing, clutching a wildflower in her hand. She handed it to Amara, her first clear word breaking the silence. "Mama." Amara gasped, covering her mouth. Ethan's eyes shone with emotion. "She sees what I see," he whispered. Amara knelt, hugging Lily tightly. "Oh, sweetheart." Ethan took her hand, his voice gentle but sure. "Amara Williams, would you stay?" not as Lily's nanny, but as her mother, and my partner. Amara's tears fell freely as she nodded. Yes, Ethan, 1,000 times, yes. Epilogue. Years later, a little girl ran along the same lakeside, her laughter echoing in the breeze. Ethan and Amara watched from a nearby bench, his arm around her shoulders, her head resting against him. Who would have thought, Amara said softly, smiling, that one crying baby on a plane would bring us all here. Ethan chuckled, kissing her forehead. Sometimes, the most unexpected moments lead to the most beautiful destinations. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, they sat together, a family built not by chance, but by love, kindness, and a single act that changed everything.